French nuclear firm Areva, really, hasn't it, Stephen?
Yeah, it certainly has. The company's been very hard hit by the global downturn in the nuclear industry. It's abandoned its earnings forecast for the next 2 years and announced further delays to a reactor that it's building in Finland. Now, that news had sent Areva's shares tumbling on Wednesday, down 15%, prompting the French economy minister to insist that the government's investment, its stake in the company, was safe. Here's Mark Thompson with more.
An uncertain future for Areva as the French nuclear technology giant abandons its financial targets. The company says it stems from a delay at Finland's Olkiluoto plant. The project, which began in 2005, was scheduled to be completed in 2009, but cost overruns and construction delays have placed Areva and its partner Siemens in a legal battle with the Finnish company behind the plant. Areva is also blaming the slow restart of Japanese reactors following the nuclear disaster at Fukushima and a lackluster market. The news sent its shares tumbling by 16% on Wednesday. Industry experts say the company has several options to choose from.
You have recapitalization by government, but you have to find 2-3 billion euros, so it's enormous in this period of budgetary constraint. Another option is recapitalization through market, but you will not find investors willing to go there.
The French government owns an 87% stake in Areva, and Economy Minister Emmanuel Macron says the company remains a priority. But the nuclear technology giant also faces bad news at home. French electricity provider EDF signalled its nuclear project in the northwest of France would be delayed until 2017. It says Areva's difficulties in delivering essential components on time are to blame. Analysts now warn of further troubles ahead for the company, with a new management team set to take control in December.
So those shares were down 15% in trading yesterday. Further falls on Areva's share price today. The European markets have just opened. Let's see how Areva's share price is looking. It's down over 1%. As the French stock market opens up. So more troubles. Obviously, investors still worried about how Areva will get out of this hole. Let's look more generally at how the broader European markets are trading. They've all opened slightly down at the start of trading in Europe today. Markets in France digesting the news of the latest Purchasing Managers Index survey showing a slowdown in the contraction in the economy, but still that economic conditions remain difficult. Private sector firms saying they've seen another fall in business. Not much great news there for the French economy. Over in Asia, a HSBC survey of the manufacturing sector there showed activity fell to a 6-month low in November. No great depression, though, on the Chinese markets. As you can see, the Hong Kong and Shanghai composite both up slightly.
Going to go to the US next. The Senate going to be discussing the issue of faulty car airbags later on.
No, that's right. At least 5 deaths have been linked to the defects in the airbags made by the Japanese manufacturer Takata. 17 million cars have been recalled worldwide over the issue, the majority of them in the United States. Takata will answer questions from senators over the dangers posed by their airbags. They'll be joined by representatives of car makers Honda and Chrysler, as well as the US road safety body at the hearing later this Thursday. Industry experts say that questions will be raised over how the fault was handled.
It's clear every vehicle needs to be recalled. I think there's a big wake-up message in both Takata and the GM ignition switch to NHTSA that you can't trust the manufacturers. You really do have to be a strong enforcement agency.
Now, meanwhile, another Senate report has criticised 3 Wall Street banks for their sway over commodities markets, including oil, coal and aluminium. The 2-year investigation found that Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley had invested so much in the markets that they could influence consumer prices and potentially manipulate the markets. The banks expected to rebut those claims in a Senate hearing on the issue scheduled for later today.
Now, finally, it is a very, 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 how many veries can you get in? Special day here in France because for wine lovers worldwide, a very special
I'm a bit worried about you and all those berries.
Well, it's talk of wine at this time of day.
At this time of the morning. It's just after 9 o'clock here in Paris. That could be worrying for all of us. It's the 3rd Thursday in November, which means that it is Beaujolais Nouveau Day. It's the day that the batch of the wine is released. These are pictures that we can see from the party in the town of Beaujolais, which is in the Beaujolais region, for the uncorking of the the first batch. Beaujolais Nouveau parties, an annual event around the world, mainly thanks to one man, the wine dealer Georges Duboeuf, who created the event in 1967. It's become a global phenomenon. 40% of Beaujolais Nouveau is exported. The Japanese, rather, are the biggest consumers. They take almost 8 million bottles, followed by the US at 1.8 million. Now, despite the fact the wine often isn't very good, controversial. Florence Wilhelmina will rebut that in a second, I'm sure. This year's batch is getting some good reviews. Let's listen to what people had to say about it.
It's like this every year. The Beaujolais is delicious. It's chilled, tasty, really good. You have to come for it.
Beautiful, very nice. Wine in this year, very nice.
It's an all-round festival. That's why we come here. People don't only come for the Beaujolais, but also for the festival, the merrymaking, the atmosphere, and the goodwill between people.
I think they've all had a bit too much of it, haven't they?
I think. Go on. You reject my accusation that it's often not very good wine.
I'm a big fan of Beaujolais Nouveau. I think you just have to avoid the box wine and you'll probably get a good bottle.
That is good tips, and I will do my best to do that. Thanks, Florence.
And you have, of course, bought a bottle in for us to taste.
Of course, No, I haven't. It's too early to hear it. I couldn't possibly.
Go away. Kind of look at having a look at the international papers. Much more serious issues.